asked to remove himself from his place of residence.
Yikes.
That request came from his
Divorce
wife.
and separation, never
He knew
fun.
she was right, but he also knew that someday he would return to her.
You get through it.
With nowhere else to go, he appeared at the home of his friend, Oscar Madison.
Some of you.
Several years earlier, Madison's
Some
wife had
folks
told
don't.
him out, requesting
5,
that he
10,
never
15,
return.
20, 30 years later,
And two divorced men
the other
share an
person in the
apartment,
relationship's
driving
moved
each other
on, and
crazy.
the other one's still clinging to it. Yeah, you, right. Corey Johnson back at you. Now, I'll never forget, man, I'm out with a buddy of mine, and the dad's there, and the dad's been single for a while, and the mother, they got divorced like 20 years earlier, and the mother's been remarried and is happy, and the dad seemed happy, and I brought up the mother, and the dad just sitting calm, just lashed out. I'm thinking to myself, it's 20 years later, bro. Still clinging to it like it's 20 minutes later. I guarantee you the wife isn't. Someone a long time ago told me this. I tell you what, when I say things like I'm fortunate, I'm blessed, things like that, I mean it. Someone told me a long time ago, it's like when I was 4 years old, a man taught me how to shake someone else's hand, firm handshake. I was 4. No, someone taught me a long time ago, when you hate somebody, I mean, that just seems so strong. I don't know how many people I dislike or don't care for. It's just so few. But hate, that's such a vicious thing to begin with. It's such a strong emotion. I think just that word, hate, it's like trying to think if I hate anything. I mean, I guess I hate like Adolf Hitler and things like that. But it really takes a lot of energy and juice. It's, and the wise thought was, when you hate someone, they're either oblivious to that fact or they simply do not care. You're the only one that's holding that. You're the only one that's, clinging to that. Anyway, life lessons. I'm Corey Johnson. Back to regular programming. We'll see you tomorrow at 4:00. Life's Lessons brought to you every afternoon by Jimmy's House of Egg Noodles, a fantastic place to get a bite to eat, located in Gretna. Jimmy's House of Egg Noodles. Back to regular programming. Oh, boy. Got a good one lined up for you. Hey, tomorrow, got a good one lined up for you. Another edition of Hillier and Hennigan. Perfect timing right after midterms. Get a good viewpoint from right-leaning Quinn Hillier, a lifelong conservative Republican, old school. Left-leaning Ellis Hennigan. That's tomorrow right here on the neutral ground with yours truly. No, that's my name. I'm Mr. Truly. First name yours. Coming up in a few minutes, New Orleans DA Jason Williams joins us on the program. Coming up in about 30 minutes, Eileen Carter from NoLatoya.org. They had a little media conference earlier today. I'll fill you in on that in a second. On this gorgeous Tuesday afternoon, temperatures around 70. You know the drill. Get outside, drop some coals, do some great. Hello? 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 This must be a repeat, a best of, a worst of. Get outside, enjoy this weather, 70-something, low humidity. It's sunny, it's all right. You go drop some coals. It's kind of crappy outside. Now in Minnesota, this might be, hey, we're going ice fishing. Let's go hit the tennis ball. No rain. Go play golf. West Side's open, eh? Now, I don't know what they're doing in Minnesota on a day like this. This is like a banner day, I'm sure, during winter. They may not see something like this till like March or April. But in New Orleans and the Gulf Coast region, this weather, sucky. No, it's no bueno, that's for sure. Just overcast. It isn't raining, but it rained overnight and a pretty good amount. And it was weird. Last night, it was probably like 60. It wasn't hot, but it wasn't cold. It was sort of just cool. I was sort of shocked, like, I don't have to like put on a sweater to go outside kind of thing. And then I think a Coolio and the gang front rolled in overnight with that rain, and it dropped temperatures about 20 degrees. Very humid, kind of wet feeling outside, overcast clouds. I guess rain could happen in different parts of the metro at any time. But cold, windy, damp, just kind of nasty weather. Not really drop coals and go outside and hang out with friends and family, go to the hunting blind, the fishing camp. I don't know. Duck hunting blind, I guess it'd be good. Ducks are probably a-flying with this cold weather. You want that stuff. The colder and wet and rainier, the better, I guess, for duck hunting. You'd like it to be 40 and a light rain, I guess. And you'd have ducks flying like crazy, apparently. Hey, this 4 o'clock hour brought to you by Fausto's. I said it yesterday. I'm a creature of habit. I like red beans and rice. I'm a native New Orleanian. I like them on Monday. I think red beans and rice, I don't know what it is. It's weird when I see a place like Thursday night, red beans and rice on the menu. I'm just not ordering it on a Thursday. I don't know what it is. I'm not saying it's wrong. It just doesn't fit. It doesn't jive. My brain doesn't kind of go with it. Now, I remember in the olden days when Popeye's red beans and rice were edible. I used to eat those like 20, 30 years ago, but they were so rich. They were almost like you couldn't eat a big plate of Popeye's red beans and rice. They're just very rich. It would be like eating, crab meat au gratin as an entree, just fettuccine Alfredo as an entree, just kind of rich. Anyway, the red beans and rice at Fausto's, just really good. Age-old recipe. Fausto grew up in the Italian part of the French Quarter like 60 years ago when he was a boy. And there were some red beans and rice in that neighborhood. And this recipe is at least 60, 70, 80 years old. Could be a lot older than that. Old school wash day Monday. It's funny, the only non-Sicilian or Italian thing on the menu at Fausto's. The Monday red beans and rice, but it makes sense because Fausto grew up in the Italian part of the French Quarter, and it's in his DNA as a New Orleanian, an Italian New Orleanian that, loves his Sicilian and Italian heritage, but loves his New Orleans heritage too. Yeah, Fausto was in there yesterday when I was having lunch. It'll either be Fausto in there or his brother Roland. They own the joint. One of them's always there. That's how it works. New Orleans figured this out a long time ago. Got so many restaurants, bars, and music clubs. Most of them fail. Most of them that start up new fail. No, you need family. You need people you can trust. You need people that are committed, people that are part of the operation. Their livelihood depends on it. No, it helps. The service is better. The food's better. Everything's better. No, you go to Fausto's, I'd say it's about a 90% chance, lunch or dinner, either Roland or Fausto, or you might catch both of them in there. New Orleans-inspired Sicilian and Italian. They open up at 5 o'clock in about 45 minutes. Tonight for dinner, make it Fausto's Italian Bistro. You will not be disappointed. Steve Scalise elected House Majority Leader. Now, the Senate Majority Leader is the number one guy in the Senate. The House Majority Leader is number two in the House. The Speaker of the House is number one, but hey, number two, not bad. Steve Scalise elected House Majority Leader. Hopefully that leads to things for Louisiana. Steve Scalise is I like him as a person, but not one bill that has been passed into law at all. That's just sort of strange. Yeah, I've been a congressman in D.C. for years. Oh, no, I've never passed any legislation. I've never authored any legislation that has become law. Not a single bill. Not something like name the gas station after Fred Magoo, the World War II veteran. Nothing. Zero. Zilch. Steve Scalise has zero authoring of any bill. He's the author, and it became law. There's just something wrong with that. There's something wrong with that. NoLatoya.org. Is there something wrong with that? I don't know. We're going to find out. No, I don't think the concept. And I think Eileen Carter was the right person for the job. Just busting her tail, getting it done. NoLatoya.org. Trying to get this recall going today. I think a slight win for the mayor. They held a press conference, nolatoya.org, 12 weeks in, about 14 weeks to go, almost the midway point, but they're behind pacing, and it only gets harder. They got about 18,000 signatures. They had 10,000 in the first 4 weeks. They've received less than that in the last 8. They got to average right now they're averaging 1,000 a week. And that's not enough. That puts it around 32,000 or like 20,000 short. They need about 400 signatures each and every day for this thing to go. DA Jason Williams next.
Spa, the premier day spa experience, now with 4 area locations. Canal at Carrollton, on the North Shore and Slidell, in Baton Rouge by the Mall of Louisiana, and now in Metairie, West Esplanade at Transcontinental. The Woodhouse Day Spa.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
For home surveillance, it's Tommy's Lock and Alarms. With high-definition night vision surveillance systems, letting you see what's going on. Home surveillance that's smart, safe, secure. Tommy's Lock and Alarms. Google them.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
When you think of Fury's restaurant in Metairie, you think about fresh local fish like flounder, snapper, and speckled trout, fried, broiled, or grilled. Fury's restaurant in Metairie.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, it's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof, now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anyway. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. NolaAC.com, your cool spots. NolaAC.com, your cool spots.
Uptown, Carrollton, Riverbend, Holly Grove, Kirktown, Gentilly, Lakefront, West Bank, Lakeview. It's Corey Johnson on the neutral ground, where New Orleans is heard.
Yeah, you right, Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you. Thanks so much for joining us on the program, on radio, on television, live streaming, CoreyTalks.com. A few months ago, we picked up that YouTube thing. You can check out the program live or even after the fact on YouTube. Corey Johnson Neutral Ground. Click to subscribe to our YouTube channel. New Orleans District Attorney Jason Williams joins us again on the program. How you doing, Jason?
I'm good, Corey. How are you?
Doing well. Same old stuff, good stuff. Just rolling along. How about yourself?
I'm good. I'm just still standing on the neutral ground side. I've brought in today the head of the Civil Rights Division as well to join us for the call.
Now, who would that be?
Emily Ma.
Yeah, Emily Ma. Okay, great. Perfect. How you doing, Emily?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing well. Hey, Jason, I got to go backwards for a millisecond. I hate to do it. Hate to do it. Your former law partner, it looks like they're still going to go ahead with her indictment. That Mouton guy with the wildlife and fisheries, that Hebe thing with Letton, he pleaded guilty and they didn't do anything to him. Why do you think they're still proceeding with the former partner? I don't know. I don't get that one.
You know,
and I don't mean to bring up that kind of stuff. I know it's past you, and
look,
it's hard to even think about if that was reversed and the feds were after me like that. That would be a tough 6-8 months, year plus. It'd be tough.
It makes me very sad. It's very, very frustrating. I know that politics is a blood sport in the city of New Orleans, and the idea that it's okay when blood splatter gets on people that don't choose to be on that battlefield is just very, very, it's very disheartening.
I mean, just from the sideline, I mean, I know law is different and you can apply it different ways and different people, different times. That Mouton guy pled guilty. He was like the chief witness. You remember that case with Hebe and Letton and all that? And of course it went away, but because of, the online chatting and all that stuff. But anyway, I just saw that and I was...
Look, I appreciate you bringing it up. I was with her when we got that ruling. It was very hard to swallow. I really don't know what to say about it. I mean, yep. I know that I took a lot of arrows. I know I take a lot of heat, but I signed up for this. She's just trying to raise a family, be a good mom, be a good husband, and practice law. And she's excellent at all of those things. So it's very frustrating.
Well, hopefully it all comes out the right way for her in the end. Hey,
thank you.
Hey, this is going back a few decades, this Len Davis thing rearing its ugly head. And when I say that, I just think about Len Davis and what he did. That was some crazy, chaotic times in the Crescent City.
It was chaotic and it was crazy times. It's weird. It's weirdly appalling that, as you described, you said reared his ugly head, right? You remember how shocking that was to the core of the city that a police officer was engaged in murder for hire, drug dealing, planting evidence, doing all those things. We saw this unfold. He got indicted for these crimes 5 weeks after basically framing up these 3 kids. And there's a host of other cases that he touched, but no agency has ever reviewed his work. And I think that's weirdly appalling. And that's why I brought Emily Ma on as well to discuss this with you.
Yeah, Emily, a lot of people are just like, oh, this person was a criminal or they did this, they're a drug dealer or whatever, and they just want to dismiss it. And that's the easy thing to do. You guys, especially you got the tougher job of scrutinizing all of this stuff. So this is like a Hollywood movie. You got Len Davis, like this crooked cop, drug dealer guy, basically like a warlord as a policeman. He can do whatever he wants to almost any of these like underling drug dealers beneath him. And he definitely took advantage of that when he had to wield power, show folks who was in control. He'd arrest folks, get people worse. I mean, murder for hire, all kind of crazy stuff.
Well, that's right. And it went on for a long time. And whilst a lot of people know about the thing that he was convicted of, there were people working with him and around him as well.
Yep.
That caused a lot of harm over the years to many people who had to live under a small portion, but a portion of the police department that was lawless. And so we are trying with the resources that we have, most of which we have brought in from other places. We've found money in order to be able to put some attention on any lingering, outstanding harm that we can still address in this office. And we do that for a variety of reasons. But one of those reasons is because I believe, and I know that law enforcement want that done. That when there's a lot of damage that's been wrought by somebody in your profession or who was your colleague,
yep,
that hasn't really been dealt with, right? They just got a conviction. The Feds got a conviction, which was obviously very important. And nobody then went back and looked at what else was going on with this sort of cabal of officers. Nobody's ever done that.
What is going on? What is going on? By the way, we're visiting with New Orleans DA Jason Williams and Chief of Civil Rights in the office, Emily Maw. What is going on, Emily, and what folks are you looking at that their situation needs to be addressed?
So if you've got an officer, and I want Emily to drill down on this a little bit, but if you've got an officer that is widely known to be trumping up charges to protect his criminal activity,
yep,
government cannot look away from the innocent lives that got caught up in his machinery. And that's what we've done for close to 20 some odd years. Emily?
That's right. And I think, much of the testimony even that came out of his trial, but from his former partner, Sammy Williams, indicates, and I do want to emphasize here, Sammy Williams was implicated in this too. There are cases that he touched that we absolutely are looking at. Many, many cases of people who are arrested and potentially subsequently prosecuted. They've long passed. People have done their time. It may have been a small charge. But the existence of these kinds of stains on people's criminal history, the kind of the terror that people had to live under, has to be addressed at some official level.
Yeah, so Emily, you're not talking about people that were innocent per se from day one, people that committed low-level crimes, more than have paid for it, but still seem to be connected to Len Davis and his level of crime, right?
Well, no, it's both. It's both, Corey. You've got certain people. Look at Jalou, Gable, and Nelson. They were completely innocent of the crimes they were charged with. You also have individuals who were guilty, who had their due process and constitutional rights violated by Len Davis. So he was trotting on the rights of the innocent and guilty alike. And that is the thing that people have. I think we like to give short shrift to, oh, well, those individuals must have been guilty of something.
Oh, no, that's the easy way out. People don't want to think or work, they don't want to think about it. But yeah, when you have people that committed some low-level thing and he amplified it, and now you're saying even some people that were fully innocent, no, it's nauseating. It's 20 years later. You can't lump everybody into the Len Davis level of crime.
And the other piece is the individual that took this other young man's life, that perpetrator was left on the street because Len Davis hooked up these three people for his own purposes.
Right.
Right. So that's not justice.
No, that's the opposite. No doubt. How do you guys proceed from here?
Methodically, strategically. That's the goal and purpose of the Civil Rights Division. This was not easy work. There were a lot of woman hours and man hours that went into this. Emily is strategically looking at a host of other situations. Emily, why don't you speak to it?
Every case that we do in this office where we're reviewing a result that has already occurred, we do on a case-by-case basis. And there may be things that trigger a review, like a particular officer is involved, a particular prosecutor is involved, or a particular kind of law was used that was subsequently we all know to be racist. Any of those things, any of those factors can trigger us to review cases, but every single time we do it case by case. And so we absolutely have a list of, police officers who are subsequently convicted of federal crimes that absolutely implicate their fitness to be an officer. And we are reviewing all of the work that they did for the city of New Orleans when they had a badge and a gun. And we are attempting to see what of that work product should stand and what should absolutely not.
No, it's mind-blowing because you can't just wave a wand and go, everybody's released, everybody stays. That's the same as everybody staying. You have to do it case by case, and every single one's different. That's just so time-consuming. But justice isn't easy.
It's not easy, and in a lot of those instances, there's a thorough amount of review, and that review shows that there is no reason for that case to go back to court, and what happened stands. And then in other instances, we find innocent people who've been languishing in jail and find out that a guilty person was left on the street to reoffend.
Emily, any final thoughts?
I think the only final thought I have is that this work can sometimes seem like it shouldn't be a priority. There are days when things seem like they're urgent, they're right now, and why are we focusing on things that were happening in the past? But I honestly don't believe that we can ever ask people, ever, in this city where so much harm is actually being caused by people, in uniform or people under the cloak of official authority. I don't think we can ask people to really trust in the system that we want them to trust in and come to the police when things go bad and report things to the police and cooperate with the police and come to the prosecutor's office until we show that we know where things have gone wrong and we're willing to do something to try to address that.
No, I want strict but fair. I want total justice. I want the crime to come down in this city, but I don't want people to go to jail for petty stuff or people that are in jail for too long or that don't even deserve to be in jail because they're linked to something else. No, that's justice. You guys have a tough job, especially in dysfunctional New Orleans. I mean, this stuff goes back a generation plus, this Len Davis thing. Emily, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Jason, same thing. Thanks for joining us. We'll do it again soon.
Corey, I look forward to our next time.
That's DA Jason Williams and Emily Maw, Chief of Civil Rights from the DA's office. Corey Johnson with You Don't Move.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
Tommy's Lock and Alarms is now hiring service and installation technicians. Great benefits, great pay, take-home vehicle. Apply today. Tommy'sLockandAlarms.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We do in all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience. Right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore led us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
Changing talk radio in New Orleans for the better. It's Corey Johnson on the Neutral Ground. Every weekday afternoon on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333 from 4 p.m. to 5:30.
Yeah, you right. Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you on a Tuesday afternoon. Cloudy, damp, cold, humid, kind of nasty out there. A lot going on. We'll fill you in on all of it, including Steve Scalise elected House Majority Leader. Hopefully that means something good for Louisiana. Yesterday, John Kennedy said he's considering running for governor. Bill Cassidy says he already knows what he's going to do, and he'll let us know later this week. Will Luke Mixon get in on that race and represent the Democrats? We'll see. Republicans have already endorsed loony Jeff Landry, the Attorney General, who is out of his mind. That would be a typical Louisiana move, electing someone like that. Speaking of maybe electing the wrong person, LaToya Cantrell. NoLatoya.org is the website. The official recall, folks. Eileen Carter and Belden Noonie Man Batiste join us again on the program. Hey, Eileen.
Hey, how are you?
Doing good. Belden, how are you?
How are you, Corey? Doing fine.
Good, man. Glad to have you guys again. A press conference earlier today. An update. Fill us in.
Well, we are excited to say that we are approximately 35% of what we need to get this done. We are really excited. We have listened to our residents, and we are systematically working into getting into everyone's living room beginning next week. So you can be as creative as with your thoughts as you want with that, but we are systematically working to get in everyone's living room next week. It is going to happen, and so you just kind of have to wait and see exactly what that is, but it is happening next week. We do have a new website that is dropping this week. We have another 3 billboards that were going to be on I-10. So we thank everybody for their donations because that's what's keeping those up. We do have new shirts that are dropping this. They'll be printed on Friday, so they'll be dropping this weekend. They are black and gold for the Saints, so we're really excited. We will be asking for donations for those to be able to keep our billboards up. And, you know, it's really just about this one question. Is the mayor taking care of the business of the city of New Orleans? You know, she says she's focused on doing the job, but we don't see it. And that's exactly why Belden and I signed the petition. We said there were 2 reasons. Number 1, not putting New Orleans first. And number 2, not executing the duties of her position. And that's what we see.
And what I think about this thing that a lot of people don't, I think, realize, I still think some people think you sign it, you get over 53,000 signatures, and the mayor is ousted. This is sign it, and you get an election again where you either vote for the mayor to stay in office or for the mayor to not stay in office. I think that's what I'm telling you, Eileen and Belden. I think the majority of the population does not realize that. I think some people are hesitant to sign because it's such a weight on their back. I'm going to oust the mayor. It's like, no, you're signing to have an election to either keep or oust the mayor. That I think, not that you guys need to do a better job of saying that, but I just don't think the population's educated on that, generally speaking.
Well, we find that there are some pockets of, honestly, Black media that we found directly recently that likes to keep, our communities ignorant of certain things that are going on in the community. And so, now that you're saying that, we will make sure that we repeat it more often. But they know when it gets to a vote what's going to happen, because the last recent poll that came out believes 62% of the voters believe that the mayor is not doing a great job, and that was in the UNO poll. So we know what's going to happen when we get the election. We're gonna make it happen. So that's where we are. Crime. We cannot forget that the mayor sat with the carjacker. Like, we just can't. And what we also can't forget is, in 2019, when we had the lowest crime rate in 50 years, she embraced that, right? And we touted it all over the city. How do I know? Because I worked for her then. But at this point, when we're now, the murder capital of the nation, you don't embrace that. So you embrace the things you do well, but you won't even talk about the things that, you aren't delivering on. And this recall is putting it front and center where we have to deal with our problems. Our city, our residents have been asking for an effective crime plan since at least January. We got a redeployment. That's not an effective crime plan. They need to sit down, get to work, and find a crime plan that works for everybody, because we're sick of it. We had 415 shootings as of yesterday. That's up 96%. 239 homicides. That's up 142%. 248 carjackings. That's up 182%. And 486 robberies, which was up 34%. Now, all of this was percentage increases since 2019, when we had the 50-year low that she embraced. She touted it. So all of this has happened under this administration. You need to take ownership of it, and you need to do something about it.
Oh, no, it's funny. Like yesterday on social media, she's at the opening of the Habana Outpost on Rampart and Esplanade. And I'm thinking to myself, this guy's been trying to open this thing for a decade. And 5 years of that decade was under LaToya Cantrell, and she's celebrating the opening. That should have been 4.5 years ago, not year 5. Hey, real quick, Eileen, you mentioned some of this marginal Black media. I know who you're talking about. That the quote Black community that, that first off, they think there's this one Black community, like it's one thing. And which is mind blowing to me, because I can tell you I don't represent white, but also I'm guessing, and you guys can correct me on this. I'm just a native New Orleanian that kind of has a pretty good pulse on the city as a whole. I'm guessing 4 of 5 signatures you have are white voters, and Black folks need to step up or this thing will not happen. Am I right or wrong on that?
This thing is happening, and honestly, we have been seeing more of the Black community show up than anything. Belden?
That's right. The Black community has been showing up. They has been coming out, and they say enough is enough.
But more Black signatures than white signatures, you'd say at this point?
Today it was about half and half at our event today.
No, I thought there was more apprehension in the Black community because she's a Black mayor, and we don't want to oust one of our own. That Black community type mentality when it's like, man, I don't care if you're Black or white. If you're not right, I want you gone. No, that's good. I'm glad I was wrong with my assumption. So another point, real quick, a third of what? Like you said, a third of what? Or you said a third of the signatures required. A third of 53,000 or a third of what you want to get, 70 or 80,000? What is it a third of?
A third of the required, a third of the 54,000. But you will see next week, I can't be specific about it, but this new system that we have created with all of the pieces, it is going to make an impact. It is going to put it right there in front of your face where you have to do a heart check. and you have to make that decision.
Now guys, you know me. I got y'all on. I want to see this election to see if she stays or go. At least that. I want to see the 53,000 signatures. I am out there saying that totally. I'm not neutral on this. But how am I wrong today if I say this? NoLatoya.org had a press conference. Today would be a slight win for the mayor. 12 weeks in, 14 weeks to go. They're behind pacing. It only gets harder. They got about 18,000 signatures. They had 10,000 the first 4 weeks. That means only 8,000 the last 8 weeks. They're behind pacing, and I'm not blaming it on you guys. Eileen and Belden, I mean this. You guys have done an absurdly great job getting this out there. LaToya Cantrell got, when you count the citizens, 12% of the vote. There is an apathy in this city that's bigger than the weak job LaToya is doing. Y'all have a twofold job. Convince people that LaToya is terrible. If they're not aware of it, they're sleeping. And second, slap them around and get them to like wake up. The apathetic population, when we have 27% voter turnout, she got 12% of the vote or something. It's a joke.
It's not really about people not wanting to sign as much as them taking the time to do it. And that's what we have found with having conversations with people. It's not about them not wanting to sign. You know, I had a conversation with my neighbor. He absolutely wants our house. But did he physically go to an event to sign? No.
Right.
People want convenience. People want it to be right there in front of their face. And so we listened, and that's going to be the next stage of what we're doing.
Nice.
We're going to put it, it's going to be so easy. You're not going to have any, there's going to be no complaint. Let me just put it that way. And so we are literally systematically putting this in your living rooms next week.
How long does it take to fill out? How long does the whole process take, Eileen, to fill out and sign and do all that? 5 minutes?
3 minutes. Like you got 3 minutes. It's literally two. Yeah, exactly. Depends on how fast your fingers can put in your first name, last name, zip code, your birth month and year. Like that's literally all it takes. Then your information pops up and you just put it in the boxes. You know, we make sure it's correct and you keep going. That's why you don't see the lines, because we don't keep a line, because we keep you going in and out. And we have like 3 or 4 tablets at each table. So, you know, we're getting you in and out. It's very quick. You know, today we ran to a car. Belden ran to a car because someone was in uniform and they didn't want, you know, anyone to see them signing. So it's more of that right now.
Yeah.
People don't want to be seen than anything else. So we knew you were going to have that first wave of everybody who just were, you know, very upset about something. And actually you're seeing that gain with these latest, news cycles that have been happening.
Hang on 1 second, Eileen. Hang on. Eileen Carter's with us. Belden, Noonie Man, Batiste with us. NoLatoya.org. Coming right back. The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
If you love Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City, you're going to love Bienvenue in Harahan. The same folks bringing a little of that New Orleans flavor to Hickory Avenue. If you love Katie's, come to Bienvenue on Hickory Avenue in Harahan.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com. Rouse's Markets means convenience. Every one of our 65 locations opens at 7 a.m., some at 6:30, and they're open until 10 p.m., with some staying open till 11 or even midnight. Convenience. Rouse's Markets. Tastes like home.
For over 30 years, one of the premier security companies in New Orleans and South Louisiana has been Tommy's Lock and Alarms. And right now, Tommy's Lock and Alarms is hiring. Come and work for one of the best security companies in the region with great pay, great benefits, and a take-home vehicle. Tommy's Lock and Alarms is hiring, and they're looking for you. To apply for one of these coveted positions, go online to tommyslockandalarms.com. Tommy's Lock and Alarms.
Have a painting project but can't decide on the perfect color? At Helm Paint and Decorating, we offer half-pint paint samples in any Benjamin Moore color for under $5, so you can test potential paint colors before investing in a full gallon.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamarck team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamarck Ford. We became #1 for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
Which Metro New Orleans area restaurant made CNN's top 50 in America and ThrillList.com's top 25 and has served presidents at the White House for over 40 years? Trey Yen in Mandeville.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
The city's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa with 4 area locations: New Orleans, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and Metairie. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. NOLA.woodhousespas.com.
Recently, Kim Kardashian was seen at Super Discount Store in Chalmette.
Let's party.
Can you think of any other celebrities that won't sue us? Super Discount Store in Chalmette. The lowest prices allowed by Louisiana law on wine, alcohol, and cold beer. 3235 Paris Road.
Prepared with experience, depth, knowledge, and a history in the game. Corey Johnson.
I am the smartest man alive!
Every weekday afternoon, 4 to 5:30 on Cox Channel 4 TV and Spectrum Channel 333 television.
NoLatoya.org. Go to the website, NoLatoya.org. They make it easy, and it's going to be even easier for you to sign that recall petition, which simply gets John Bell Edwards saying, hey, New Orleans, I got a call from the Secretary of State. There's enough signatures. You guys need to schedule an election, either keep or 86 your mayor. So the recall signature doesn't oust LaToya Cantrell. It just sets up an election to either keep or oust her. And that seems more than fair. She's earned this election in my mind. Eileen, am I incorrect when I say, hey, behind pacing? 4 weeks in, you had 10,000 signatures. The last 8 weeks, only 8,000. Things have slowed down, like a lot of folks say. You guys are behind pacing, and you really need to get, about 30,000, more than that, about 40,000 signatures, roughly 35 to 40,000 signatures over the next 14 weeks?
It's not anything that we weren't prepared for or honestly expected. We've talked to pollsters, and with anything that first initial wave is going to be the excitement, and then as people are coming out, it is going to trickle down, and people want convenience. We are of that age where people like convenience. It is what it is. That's just what we're used to. And as you know, we're a grassroots campaign. And so we have to be strategic with how we do things. And so, you have seen us at our pop-ups, which will continue. We are working on having regular spots, and we're also working on having a headquarters where you can come all the time, but this next stage is going to do exactly what residents have asked for, is to make it ridiculously convenient. And so that's what we have responded to. And so we really know that this push, after having spoken to a lot of people, is going to deliver a large chunk of what we're looking for, because, you know, just like I said, my neighbor, he would sign it, but he just didn't have he just didn't have it to go physically to a site. And then you do have a lot of our mature voters who may not physically be able to get out. And we actually have driven to someone's house to get one signature because, you know, she is disabled. And so we have taken all of that into account, and we have created a system that will target all voters. And we're working that out with, putting our information, in and finding out exactly where our voters are, exactly, who hasn't signed, exactly who shows the trends, so we can make sure that we put it, the petition in a position to where it is literally so easy you don't know what to do with yourself.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Next week.
That's
So
smart.
that's what you're going to be seeing next week, because, people are like, oh, I have my kids, I have my job, I have to go to the grocery store, I'm going to do it later. That's what we've been hearing. Either, oh, I'm just going to get to it because we have until February 22nd, 2023. So like, oh, I have until next year. Oh, I have until next year. I want it all done now and today. But you do have a lot of people who have that mindset of I have time, and they just keep putting it off. And so we're going to put it in front of you so that, it's quicker to make that decision, and it's a lot easier.
Yeah, I think tomorrow is the midway point. You'll be 13 weeks in, 13 weeks to go. Hey, Belden, I mentioned less than a third of New Orleanians voted in that last mayor's election. The mayor got 12% of the population voting for her. That's no kind of mandate. How do you guys motivate? How do you overcome this apathy, man? This, I don't care. As long as 3 for $1 at the bar, hunting and fishing season and Mardi Gras ago, people in New Orleans and Louisiana don't care about too much else, Belden.
Yes, you might be right on that, but like Eileen said, we got a plan, and we're going to keep pushing, and we think the people we know they're going to come out, because we've been talking. We had a community fish fry where we talked to people. We heard from different groups, and this is what they want, and we know that we're going to get this recall. The mayor's getting you a gift every day, like tonight. Watch Lee Zurich. They got a big story coming up, right? And the mayor, part of the story is showing the mayor ain't executing her duty. She's never at work. She's never doing nothing in the city. So we just got to keep our message, keep pushing, and we know the recall is.
No, you're right. You're right, Belden. Everybody needs to keep hearing that message. Just the besides the bad job she's doing, just the no job, sitting around the apartment, staying in an apartment tax-free, using it for personal use. No, it's obnoxious, and she doesn't care. And this recall is the only thing that will get her attention and make her care. I agree.
Yeah, you're right. But what's so good about this recall, I keep hearing people saying negative things. We got independents. We got Democrats. We got Republicans.
Yep.
We got no party at all. We got the Libertarians. This is a unified thing where the whole city is coming together, and the parties are coming together. And when we get this recall is going to stand for the city, letting all public officials know you can be held accountable. We are not taking it, and enough is enough. All us is in the fight together.
Down the stretch, Eileen, the only thing I could think is a few hundred volunteers with clipboards banging on doors. It might take that.
Well, you already know we are, put it this way, we have a great team, and we are moving to the next segment of this campaign. And there will be a segment after that. We are doing all of that, but we needed to, get this portion out.
Yep.
And now we're moving into the next stage. This isn't just we're going to be sitting on corners forever. I mean, we will be there, but there's a lot more coming, and hold on to your seat.
No, I like hearing it. I want to thank you, Eileen, and I want to thank you, Belden, you couldn't have two better people that got this thing going. It isn't for a publicity stunt. You guys are in it deep and busting your rear end and working at it hard every single day. I hope that people respond. NoLatoya.org. Eileen Carter, Belden, Batiste, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
NoLatoya.org. Go to the website right now. What are you waiting for? No, these folks have set it up for us. They're doing everything to make it go. NoLatoya.org. Get on it.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
Where can you find shish kebab in New Orleans? Lamb, beef, chicken, shrimp, plus all your other Mediterranean favorites. Lebanon's Cafe on the streetcar line. Lunch, dinner, and shish kebab. Lebanon's Cafe.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home.
If you are a loved one or suffering from addiction, listen to Springfield Wellness Center's founder, Paula Norris Metier.
I feel personally, when I walk around on the grounds, that it's sacred ground. It's healing. Just the environment is healing. Just being here makes one feel like that, I can let go. I can let go of the worry. I can let go of the stress that I've been carrying around for a long time. We don't shame anybody. We don't blame anybody. We don't judge anyone. Just that alone really is the foundation on which everything else that we do is done.
Put your addiction behind you. Call Springfield Wellness Center, 504-291-4000.
Just call us. That's all. And we'll be waiting for you.
504-291-4000. 291-4000. Springfield Wellness Center. SpringfieldWellnessCenter.com.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com. When you think of Fury's restaurant in Metairie, you think about their daily lunch specials like red beans and rice, black-eyed peas, white butter beans, liver and onions. Daily lunch specials. Fury's restaurant in Metairie.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, the premier day spa experience, is now more convenient than ever. Now open, the Woodhouse Day Spa, Metairie location, West Esplanade at Transcontinental. Metairie and Kenner's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa.
For home surveillance, it's Tommy's Lock and Alarm. With smart home technology, control lights, locks, cameras, thermostat, and your alarm, all from your phone or laptop. Smart, safe, secure. Tommy's Lock and Alarms. Google them.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on magazine, as unique as you.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love. More. When you do something, you have to do it right. You know, it's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
It's Joyce DeWitt, Suzanne Summers. It's Three's Company.
The kisses are hers and hers and
Three's Company. John Ritter was good in that. John Ritter was great in Sling Blade. He's a pretty good actor. Passing away. He was good, John Ritter. He could act. There are people that can act, and there's Steven Seagal. I love watching some Steven Seagal movies. They're like Roadhouse. They're so bad, it almost goes full circle where it's sort of good. Or at least entertaining. Roadhouse is like studied at colleges and universities. There's like classes on how absurd it is. There's just so many dopey lines and weird scenes and not believable characters. The greatest thing about Roadhouse is I'm all for suspending disbelief in movies. You know, that's part of what movies are about. Where are the police in this town? The only time you see the police is when they kill the villain at the end and the police show up. Where are those guys? The sheriff, the deputies, they look like they're respectable. They look like the most realistic, respectable characters in the entire movie. Everybody else is super suspending disbelief. But where are they, like when all the stuff's going down, blowing up the, auto parts store, driving the big truck through the Ford dealership? Where are the police? Anyway. Roadhouse. Fantastic. Steven Seagal. Incredible. Have you seen Seagal lately? Go to YouTube and see this is an old, mean, bitter human being today. Fat and pudgy. And old. He's like probably 70 years old. He's not 40 and he's not svelte. And if he's a black, I guess you're a black belt forever. That doesn't, doesn't mean you're ready to go fight. No, he's really bitter, upset. These interviews where they mention other folks exactly like him, like Jean-Claude Van Damme and stuff, he just has a total meltdown. Chuck Norris, it's unbelievable. Comments and criticisms, opinions on everything and anything, and just bitter and mad. It's almost hard to watch. I'll watch like a few minutes of it. I'm like, man, I've had enough of this. I can't drink this negative vibe. There's nothing good about this. Old Steven Seagal, former Jefferson Parish Sheriff Deputy. Thank you, Harry Lee. Hi, I'm Harry Lee. If you're black, we're going to pull you over and check you out because you're not supposed to be in this neighborhood. Boy, that was just lawsuit city. You know what? Today, I mean, are you kidding me? Harry Lee would be in jail. You know what Harry Lee's legacy is? It's comical. Harry Lee could say this: every day, every week, every month, every year, every decade I was sheriff. Crime got worse and worse in Jefferson Parish. Every minute of every day, of every week, of every month, of every year, of every decade, Harry Lee was sheriff of Jefferson. Crime got worse. It's hysterical. I love talking to North Shore folks. I'll bump into one once a year. Maybe once every few years. Harry Lee will come up. Love Harry Lee. Great Harry Lee. Just all this Harry Lee stuff. Hey, man, where you live? Mandeville. Why don't you live on the North Shore? I mean, on the South Shore anymore. Oh, man, the crime in Jefferson got out of hand. You are just praising Harry Lee. and you moved to Mandeville because the crime in Jefferson got out of hand. Which one is it? Harry Lee's a good sheriff, or the crime in Jefferson got worse under his watch the entire time? Harry, you want to know what Harry Lee is? The epitome of a hack politician. For law enforcement is that's a uniform. That's a costume he put on. The uniform with the big gut and the badge. Big, fat, out-of-shape Harry Lee couldn't run and catch anyone as sheriff. In a good example of the men he's protecting. I'm not out here dogging Harry Lee. I'm just, all these folks that praise Harry Lee, this denial we live in New Orleans, like the Edwin Edwards is great, Bill Jefferson great, Mark Morial great, Alario, all that kind of crap. Jeez, Harry Lee was a farce, was a joke. The Jefferson Parish Sheriff, law enforcement is beyond secondary. It's one of the most powerful politicians in the state of Louisiana. Period. End of story. Come on. It's a joke, Harry Lee. It's funny. No, it's not a one-way street. A lot of crazy white folks that love Harry Lee that moved to the North Shore because crime in Jefferson got out of control. I've told this story before. I'm running for council at large. Actually thought I could win, change New Orleans for the better. And I'm buying some radio time. And the woman I'm buying from, black lady, great radio person, great sales, knows, where I needed the spots, going to put them on prime time, gave me a great rate. I knew radio, just perfect person. After we do everything, I'm like, hey, where do you live? Who you voting for? And she's like, I really haven't decided. I'm like, you've decided. So she admits she's voting for Cynthia Willard Lewis. I said, name me one or two things that Cynthia Willard Lewis has done for the East. And she just giggled, laughed, because she knew she couldn't name any. And then I said, because it was post-Katrina, I'm like, where are you living now? She goes to Laplace. I was like, I hear you. I go, when's your house going to be back up and running in the East? When you moving back to the East? She goes, oh, no, we're not moving back to the East. We love Laplace so much better. So you have a lady that lived in New Orleans East, moved to Laplace, leaving New Orleans East because she loves Laplace so much better. She thinks New Orleans East is dysfunctional, yet is going to vote twice if she could for Cynthia Willard Lewis. So, I mean, what's the logic or rationale in that? No different from the, person on the North Shore praising Harry Lee and then in the same sentence saying, I moved to the North Shore because of the crime in Jefferson was out of control. Metro New Orleans, man. I often say black, white, Republican, Democrat, it doesn't matter. We like excuses. We like settling. We hook our wagon to these. Man, if Edwin Edwards was governor today, we wouldn't have this problem. I mean, people say stuff like that. It's just like crazy. You can't even have a conversation with folks like that. It's beyond irrational. I was on the golf course and with a buddy of mine, he's like, dude, political talk is a waste of time. You can't win. And say, hey, let me give you a golf tip. I said, you want to hit the drive better? And I gripped the club by the head of the club, by the driver, so the grip was down away, like hitting the ball with the grip. I said, try it this way. He looked at me like, what? I'm like, yep, that's, the person that's saying, Edwin Edwards, man, if he was around, the state would be so much better. It's like, I can't even have a conversation with you. And no, you can't hit the golf ball with the grip. Those are pretty close to being equal in absurdity. And someone looking at me like, what? I'm just a lot nicer. I don't tell people like, what? That's the stupidest thing I ever heard. I just don't engage in the conversation. Hey, speaking of politics, post midterms, tomorrow, another edition of Hillier and Hennigan, right-leaning Quinn Hillier, left-leaning Ellis Hennigan. They disagree on about 90% of the stuff we're going to talk about. Ideologically opposed, but very thoughtful, rational, reasonable, smart. I learn something every day. It's a thoughtful conversation between people that disagree. Tomorrow, another edition of Hillier and Hennigan. Steve Scalise elected House Majority Leader, second only to the Speaker of the House. Hopefully that means millions of dollars for the city of New Orleans and the state of Louisiana from Steve Scalise in such a powerful leadership position. I'm a little weary. I like Steve Scalise as a person. I think he's a good guy, family-oriented, God-fearing guy. I think Steve Scalise is a good person. But I do think Steve Scalise is way too, into his party, thinks Democrats are evil and nothing they can do is right, not into working across the aisle. And as, second in charge of the House, second only to the Speaker as the newly elected House Majority Leader, he's got to do something for us. Steve Scalise, all these years, how many years? I think he was Minority Whip for 8. So he's been at this for a long time. He has not one bill, not one legislation, piece of legislation that he authored that was voted on and became law. Not one. Not even naming like a road after someone or a bridge or nothing. Not even like the softball stuff. Not a single bill authored, not a single piece of legislation authored by Steve Scalise that the House of Representatives passed. And then the Senate passed and it became law. Not one, not a single one. Call and name one. There's just something very wrong with that. What are you doing in D.C.? I remember the first time Steve Scalise came onto the kind of the mainstream national scene, he was holding Obamacare, like the 1,400 pages of Obamacare. Don't be carrying the water, carrying the paper for the party. Do something for New Orleans and Louisiana. Forget about the Republican Party and national recognition and the like. Provide for the citizens you represent.
Super discount store in Chalmette.
3235 Paris Road.
The lowest price allowed by Louisiana law on wine, alcohol, and beer.
Worth the drive from anywhere.
If you're throwing a party and need wine, alcohol, and cold beer, super discount store in Chalmette.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day. By river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
For over 30 years, one of the premier security companies in New Orleans and South Louisiana has been Tommy's Lock and Alarms. And right now, Tommy's Lock and Alarms is hiring. Come and work for one of the best security companies in the region with great pay, great benefits, and a take-home vehicle. Tommy's Lock and Alarms is hiring, and they're looking for you. To apply for one of these coveted positions, go online to tommyslockandalarms.com. Tommy's Lock and Alarms.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see. What about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamarck team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamarck Ford. We became number one for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all of the time.
Come to Fausto's Italian Bistro. Age-old Italian recipes like the calamari fritti or spaghetti and meatballs. Lunch Monday to Friday, dinner Monday to Saturday. 530 Vets, a block before Dorignax. Fausto's Italian Bistro.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Here's New Orleans native son, Corey Johnson.
Native son, great New Orleans. No, that's me.
In Metro New Orleans on 93.9 FM and 107.9 FM.
New Orleans native son. No, that's me. That's me, lady. Yeah, you right. Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you on a Tuesday afternoon. Gorgeous day. Temperatures around 73, sunny and clear. Get outside, enjoy it. Whoops. Yeah, like 50-something. Cloudy, damp, humid. Kind of nasty, but no rain out there right now. But rain overnight, we needed it. But just wet, misty, cold, dank, just sort of, I don't know, Portland, Oregon, Seattle, Washington type of weather right now. Just no fun, kind of depressing. But hopefully we'll get some sunshine over the next few days. Going to be kind of cloudy, on and off, sunny, on and off. One thing will be pretty consistent for about the next week or so. We are in full-blown winter. I'm not talking 30s and 40s, but high 40s and 50s mostly. Not a lot of 60s even over like the next week. Lots of 40s, lots of 50s, and probably some days like we got right now, just wet, humid, kind of cloudy. Anyway, yeah, that fluke, the 80-something degree, the summertime in November gimmick we had a week ago, I think that is finally in the rearview mirror. Steve Scalise elected House Majority Leader, second only to the Speaker of the House. No Latoya.org. They held a press conference on the steps of City Hall around 10 a.m. this morning. Eileen Carter, Belden, Noonie Man, Batiste joined us last hour in the program. On the program, I should say. No, I mean, my headline today would be today a slight win for the mayor. I mean, the mayor's office, they're probably going, oh, all right, probably not going to get this recall number they're looking for. That would be my guess right now, although I wouldn't count Eileen Carter and Belden, Noonie Man, Batiste out. Eileen Carter is organized, focused, doing everything possible, but it's not only convincing people the mayor's just, terrible and, there deserves to be another election. It's an apathy that's going to be hard to overcome. That's the problem. Less than a third of New Orleanians, like 28%, showed up to vote for that last mayor's election. The mayor got, when you count all the citizens, because so many didn't vote, she got about 12% of New Orleans citizens' votes, like about 1 out of 9. That's hardly a consensus. Hey, it was a huge amount of voters showing up and the mayor did great. It wasn't that at all. Very few showed up and the mayor won. 12% of the vote. So there is an apathy. There's just I don't give a crap attitude in New Orleans and Louisiana, especially about what's important. The truck running good, working on the truck, hunting and fishing season, Mardi Gras. Make sure the Mardi Gras float's painted right, even though I leave it in my yard 364 days out of the year and screw over the neighborhood with that. No, 3 for $1 at the bar. That's what we care about. We are the champions from 5:01 Friday to 8:59 a.m. Monday. We're the greatest for the party, the weekend, the festival, the event. But boy, the Monday through Friday 9 to 5 stuff, we suck at that. We're not bad. We're awful at it. And you got a mayor who's just terrible. And there's this great opportunity to, you just sign the recall petition. It doesn't oust the mayor. It sets up an election. The mayor will be running commercials saying, I'm doing a great job. You know, the devil you know may be better than the devil you don't. I don't know what kind of commercial she'd run. But there'd be another election, and then the voters would choose, do we oust the mayor or not? And we can't seem to even get to that level. Can't even seem to get to the vote. No, there's just an apathy. It's pathetic. It really is. That's part of New Orleans and Louisiana's problem. I don't know how to fix it. I was raised right. I got friends and family that do right. I hang around people that almost everyone I hang around with, I didn't plan this or do that. Almost everyone makes more money than me. Almost every friend, acquaintance, pal I hang out with makes more money than me, is in life with money, is more successful than me monetarily. I'm not jealous or envious or bummed out. I'm in radio and television. It's a different deal. But I try to hang around people that are smarter than me, that do better than me. I go play golf with a bunch of people that shoot 120, probably not going to shoot so well. I go play golf with a bunch of people that shoot 70, probably going to play pretty well that day. No, New Orleanians, I just don't know what it is. Educated or not, black, white, Republican, Democrat, it doesn't matter. There is a brokenness. There is an apathy. There's just a don't care attitude. It's just sort of sad and pathetic. Eileen Carter has busted her tail setting this thing up for us, doing all the work, very organized. I mean, like a business. Go sign already. Let's at least have an election. The mayor may win the election and stay in office. Let's at least get to that point. No, but it's bogging down. Almost halfway done. 12 weeks in, 14 to go. I mean, today was a big win for the mayor. Way behind pacing. It only gets harder. About 18,000 signatures. 53,000 are needed. They need like another 40,000 signatures. You want to get north of 53 because some aren't going to count. You need like 40,000 signatures. So you got 14 weeks to go. You need 40,000 signatures. Do the math. You need like, what's that, 3,000 a week? It's a lot. Behind pacing, 18,000 signatures. Had 10,000 in the first 4 weeks. The last 8 weeks, 8,000. Less in the last 8 weeks than they got in the first 4 weeks. Now, these things do jump out hot. They, come out the gate like a rocket ship and then funnel down, bog down, slow down. That's any recall effort anywhere. But successful ones, you got to keep sustaining the momentum. The mayor helps by just talking and doing dopey stuff. Eileen Carter is as good as it gets, in my opinion, getting this done. She seems really organized. I'm no recall expert, but is there anything she's doing wrong? No, the thing besides, hey, is the mayor doing a bad job or not? And all that. No, the apathy of the average New Orleans or Louisianian when it comes to giving a crap about the important stuff is just, that's going to be hard to overcome. The I don't give a crap is hard to overcome. And that's a problem here. That's a problem. People elsewhere in America, in a lot of places, they really respect the right to vote. It's important. And they exercise that right, civic-minded, worrying about the community. No, I'm telling you, man, we worry about 3 for $1 at the bar, Mardi Gras, and hunting and fishing season. That's it. Those are our priorities. It's crazy. No, Eileen Carter has set it up for us, and we're not taking advantage of it. I don't know how we're going to reach the total. Eileen's saying a lot more television. I honestly think it needs hundreds of volunteers every day with clipboards and signing sheets banging on doors all day, every day till this thing's over. And I don't see that going on right now. I don't know how this thing's going to going to pass because, the city I live in, the state I live in has just a bunch of lame people. At LSU Law School, they say, look to your left, look to your right. One of those students won't be there next year. I say this about New Orleanians, Louisiana folks. Look to your left, look to your right. One of those people is a loser. One of those people is second rate. One of those people doesn't care. One of those people is extreme political, left or right. No, a detriment to us and our state. Yeah, like 1 out of 3 of us. Look to your left, look to your right. You're good. One person to your left or right's good. The other one's not. It's insane. No, this has been going on for 40 or 50 years, my entire lifetime. Broken New Orleans, broken Louisiana. Eileen Carter sets this thing up in a nice box wrapped with a ribbon, and we don't want to accept it. Sign the recall already. All it does is set up an election, and that's even a bigger step. Folks going out either voting the mayor in or voting her out. Yesterday, John Kennedy said he is considering running for governor, and he'll let us know soon. Today, Bill Cassidy says he's already decided if he's going to run for governor or not, and he'll let us know this week. Interesting. Of course, the Republican Party, with no John Kennedy yet, but could be in the race, with no Bill Cassidy yet, but could be in the race, Billy Nungesser unofficially in the race, they endorsed Jeff Landry. Why the hurry, Republican Party, to endorse a candidate this early in the race? Why the hurry? Because the fix was in. Now, the Republican Party of Louisiana is an embarrassment. No different from the Democrats who, endorsed Gary Chambers over Luke Mixon for Senate. No, the Republican Party of Louisiana, the party that gave us the David Dork, Edwin Edwards runoff, those people. No, supporting Jeff Landry, not a shock at all. It's Louisiana politics. It is a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you think conservative Republicans are above this, Louisiana fray of political nonsense, the Edwin Edwards, that's all Democrats. You're delusional. Delusional. Corey Johnson with you on a Tuesday afternoon. Every day this program brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex. Lamarck Ford, Lamarck Lincoln, 15 acres, over $50 million invested in the Lamarck Automotive Complex. On the car corner, Williams Boulevard and I-10 in Kennebra, right on the corner, right on the price. Number one Ford dealer, number one Lincoln dealer. The Quick Lane, the Collision Center, the pre-owned superstore, any make, any model. Now, if that wasn't enough, doing you right out by the lake, Ronnie Lamarck from Araby Park is doing you right by the river. Lamarck Crescent City Ford, that's right, legendary Crescent City Ford on Jefferson Highway in Harahan is now Lamarck Crescent City Ford. Every day this program on radio, on television, on the internet device, brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex and now Lamarck Crescent City Ford. Corey Johnson with you on a Tuesday. If you missed the 4 o'clock hour, you missed a lot. Besides Eileen Carter and Belden Noonie Man Batiste, the folks behind the recall, NoLatoya.org. Also had on New Orleans DA Jason Williams and his Chief of Civil Rights Emily Maw joined us on the program, talking about the Len Davis case. That could be a Hollywood movie, Len Davis. This NOPD officer that was like a drug underlord with a badge and a gun. Now, that was interesting talking with those two. Yeah, Eileen Carter, Belden Batiste, or the DA. You can catch all of that on YouTube after the fact. Anchor, iTunes, Spotify. Lots of podcast action for you. Or check it out live on the radio, TV, or on YouTube. Our YouTube channel, Corey Johnson Neutral Ground. Click to subscribe. Send the link to some friends. Do me a favor, click to subscribe. It doesn't cost anything. Check us out on YouTube. It is a Tuesday afternoon, kind of cloudy, kind of overcast. I don't know about outdoor dining. Fury's doesn't have outdoor dining, so Head inside with this weather. Start off with some onion rings, maybe turtle soup or gumbo. Fury's Restaurant in Metairie is open till 9 p.m. with fresh local seafood like flounder and speckled trout, snapper, fresh local seafood. Fury's Restaurant in Metairie open till 9 p.m. tonight.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, the premier day spa experience, is now more convenient than ever. Now open, the Woodhouse Day Spa, Metairie location, West Esplanade at Transcontinental. Metairie and Kenner's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
At Home Paint and Decorating, our paints are in it for the long haul. In fact, our top Benchmore exterior paints come with a lifetime warranty. Not 25 years, not 50 years, we mean forever. You heard right. At Helm Paint, our top exterior paints have a lifetime warranty against chipping, peeling, and flaking. They also are mildew resistant. Imagine painting your home one time and being done with it. Visit any one of our locations today and make that once-in-a-lifetime purchase. Paint that has a lifetime warranty. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
When you think of Fury's Restaurant in Metairie, you think about the freshest local seafood anywhere. Shrimp, oysters, speckled trout, flounder, snapper, soft shells, crawfish. Fury's Restaurant in Metairie.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, it's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof, now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anywhere. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
If you are a loved one or suffering from Parkinson's disease, listen to Springfield Wellness Center's founder, Paula Norris Metier.
People started coming to us and asking for help for things other than addiction. We have a Parkinson's patient here. He comes in once a month and gets his little booster because that's what you have to do. In 2 hours after he started, his tremors in his hands stopped. So he said, Paula, your major marketing challenge is that it's too good to be true. But it's true. It truly is true. We can't say that all of these things have a cure, but these things happen and they're real.
Call Springfield Wellness Center, 504-291-4000.
Just call us. That's all. And we'll be waiting for you.
Make the call, 504-291-4000, 291-4000. Springfield Wellness Center, springfieldwellnesscenter.com.
If you love Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City, you're going to love Bienvenue in Harahan. The same folks bringing a little of that New Orleans flavor to Hickory Avenue. If you love Katie's, come to Bienvenue on Hickory Avenue in Harahan. For home surveillance, it's Tommy's Lock and Alarms. With high-definition night vision surveillance systems, letting you see what's going on. Home surveillance that's smart, safe, secure. Tommy's Lock and Alarms. Google them.
Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on magazine, as unique as you.
This is what Drew Brees thinks about Super Discount Store in Chalmette. Actually, Brees doesn't think at all about Super Discount Store, but they do have the lowest prices allowed by Louisiana law for beer, alcohol, and wine. Super Discount Store in Chalmette. Super Discount Store!
New Orleans style talk gumbo, served daily.
You must have had the jumbo.
It's Corey Johnson on the neutral ground.
Jumbo?
Sorry, I mean the gumbo liar.
Yeah, you, right, Crescent City and beyond. You want to hear just something refreshing? And it's not just about sports, it's about life. That's why this guy is a great coach. Listen to Brian Kelly addressing his football team today.
We get to this point, you think that you've got it mastered, that you got it all figured out. This is where you fall. I use this analogy all the time. The hardest thing to do is to climb to that top of the mountain. Climbing to the top of the mountain, you get to the summit, right? You get to the very top, and you forget about how icy it is and how difficult it is to climb that mountain. And you step the wrong way, and you fall. My point is this. Your attention to detail right now, when you're having success, is more important than at any other time. You have made an incredible climb. Why would you turn it off now? So 3 things. 1, you got to stay hungry because your opponent now is coming to get you. Number 2, eliminate the distractions that are out there. People telling you how great you are. And number 3, reinvest in your attention to detail. Nobody's made it here yet. We know where we want to go. We got work to do. November's not over. If we want to get to December and we want to play an SEC championship game, we got 3 games left. 3 games left to go. And it starts with Arkansas.
How killer is that coming from Brian Kelly at LSU? You know, often you'll hear me, look, I loved Ed Orgeron as I'm 25% Cajun. I liked when Les Miles hired him as recruiting coordinator, liked to hire his D-line coach, really good recruiter as an assistant. He was never even a coordinator. Think about that. All the head coaches he worked under, all the great ones, they never were going to make Ed Orgeron a coordinator because they knew Ed Orgeron didn't have the wherewithal to handle a job that big as coordinator. It's overwhelming. And Ed Orgeron's a great recruiter and a great D-line coach. It's like Taysom Hill. Why make him quarterback? He's the Swiss Army knife. Let's maximize what he can do. Why try to bang a square peg in a round hole and make Taysom Hill a quarterback? Why make Ed Orgeron a coordinator? Can't handle it. Head coaching job, I knew right away, could not handle it. Now, you can sit there and go, 2019 would have never happened. Cling to that your whole life. No Ed Orgeron, no 2019, whatever. Maybe you get another coach you win 2019 with Burrow and the other coach because it was between Cincinnati and LSU. Or maybe that other coach is winning another national title and there was no 2 years of absurd Ed Orgeron. The point being, everything I said came to be proven true. the job is too big for Ed Orgeron. I'm not dogging Ed Orgeron. The job's too big for me, too big for you. Takes a special person to do a job like that. Ed Orgeron ain't it. Line coach, recruiting coordinator, that kind of thing, perfect. Having control over everything, a nightmare. A nightmare. That's why the bottom fell out. That's why the team was going straight down the toilet. And recall Monday, testicular Tuesday. It's like my show, Wide Open Wednesday. It's like a joke. Go Tigers. One team, one heartbeat. It's like, is this an 8th grade team? Seriously. I know a lot of you love all, go Tigers, one team, one heartbeat. You want to embrace all that crap. It's just, that's what it is. It's nonsense. And it stops resonating after a while. Players aren't buying into it after a while. And then, you've got, it's 2020 at the time, and you've got all this stuff going down with players and black and white, and Orgeron just like, team, get together and go practice. It's like no empathy or understanding like what the black players are going through. Lost the team there forever. That was the beginning of the end. The beginning of the end was the hiring. No, now you've got just sound Brian Kelly, who is grounded and can handle the job. It isn't overwhelming. He does have the wherewithal to handle this job that has so many facets to it. And just this kind of thing, instead of, we're not going to be distracted by a trap game. Go Tigers. One team, one heartbeat. It just doesn't work. Doesn't mean anything. Man, coach is fired up. You saw the blood on his head. He knocked his head through the sheetrock wall. The coach's arm, his finger's broken. He broke the finger punching the wall. Let's go. How many fingers you going to break? How many times you going to bang your head into a wall? How many times you going to rip your shirt off? Bare chest and I'll go out there with you. Just doesn't work after a while. It's high school. One team, one heartbeat. Go Tigers. It was embarrassing after a while. As an LSU fan, I wasn't happy. It wasn't a lot of respect there. It wasn't like you can hook your wagon to that. You wanted to. Louisiana, we want to believe what we want to believe. We hope what we're hoping we hope is true. We want to believe what we hope is true. So everybody wanted Orgeron to be successful. Everybody thought 2019 was just regular deal, how it was. Didn't realize it was lightning in a bottle. And the real Ed Orgeron was the last 2 years. 500, decimating the team, almost wrecking the program where it would have taken years to fix. And under a lot of coaches, even successful great ones, it would have taken years to fix. Brian Kelly has done about 5 or 6 things that are way over the top, exceeding anyone's expectations. Just getting to this amount of wins. Top 10 team in the country. Beating Nick Saban in Alabama first year. Winning the SEC West Division. Playing number 1 Georgia in the SEC title game. None of those things could have been expected. The number of wins, the national ranking, beating Saban in Alabama. Winning the SEC West, playing Georgia in the title game. None of those things. He's got about $600,000 in bonuses so far. He's earned them. No, and you just heard the cut. When you're the top of the mountain, all of a sudden we're the ones that are hunted. And this is where you've got to be very, very careful. Love this guy so far, saying everything right, just has a plan. It's grounded, has a plan, something Orgeron never had. The PowerPoint binder some student put together that helped him get the job, literally, ain't going to cut it. Brian Kelly's PowerPoint presentation's in his head. He's been doing it for decades. He knows it's sound. He knows it works. He's 61. It's proven. Just today, stay hungry. 3 things. Stay hungry. Everyone's coming after you. Everyone's giving their all. It's like Alabama. LSU's like, they're the winners of the SEC West. They're the champs. You hear the A&M receiver want to blank all over LSU's parade. Can't wait to drop, cat poop in the punch bowl. That's what A&M's thinking. Not about themselves, their success, ruining LSU's season. So LSU went from the hunted to the hunter, or from the hunter to the hunted, I should say. Stay hungry. That was one of 3 things that Brian Kelly was telling his team right now. You haven't achieved anything. Stay hungry. Second, eliminate distractions. Don't listen to these people saying how great you are. Don't listen to your SEC West champs. You're 8-2. You're going to the championship game. Don't listen to any of that, how great you are. Third, reinvest in attention to detail. Now's the time not to be like, wow, we've arrived. We're at the summit. No. This is where you, more than ever, more than in the beginning, reinvest in attention to detail. No, nothing has been accomplished yet. Now, this right here, I'm telling you, it's hard. I'm Ed Orgeron. I'm Ed Orgeron. I can't do the job just like Ed Orgeron. And I'll tell you in real life, I get on the golf course, and you're probably laughing, I'll go shoot 37 on the front side, and I'll put a 44 up on the back. I won't even break 80. I'll shoot like 81 because those last few holes, I'm starting to fill my depends up. Starting to think about the score, breaking 80, the importance of all that crap. Wow, look how good I'm playing. I'm at the top of the summit, and I step in the ice, and I fall off the mountain. Exactly what Kelly was saying. It's hard to be a winner. It's hard to stay focused. For me, it's tough to break 80 in golf. It's hard to put up a couple of 30s-somethings on each side, a 39 and a 39. I've done it, but it's hard. I had to stay hungry. I had to eliminate distractions, and I had to reinvest in attention to detail. And that's how I did it. No, and it's sort of a subconscious thing. I love what Brian Kelly has done this year. I love what Brian Kelly says. It is easy to be an LSU fan now. Again, I'm not knocking Ed Orgeron. I know a lot of you get pissed off about it because you love the guy because he's local. I hear you. I'm 25% Cajun. I get it. I'm not immune to that. But it was hard to respect Ed Orgeron as head coach. It was hard to respect the LSU program. It didn't seem like it was going down the right path, that there was a solid foundation being laid. The opposite. Kelly, it's night and day. Logic over emotion, a real plan, goals. It's beyond refreshing. LSU has everything it needs to win championships in football. Fans, stadium, facilities, commitment by the donors, everything. And Brian Kelly sees that and knows it, and now LSU has a coach that matches all that commitment. A high-end coach. A coach that you feel confident can compete against any other college coach. And it won't be a mental breakdown or some snafu that the coaching staff's responsible for that costs the team the game. They might lose, but with Kelly, you feel pretty confident that a good effort's going to be out there. The right plays are going to be called. I mean, this guy has done a masterful job. Jaden Daniels, I was like, just a serviceable quarterback. Watched him the first few games, couldn't look off receivers, wasn't really throwing the sideline out worth a you-know-what. I figured third and longs all season long would be tough. The opposite. This guy, first, second, third receiver, he's looking off everybody, going through his progressions, flings a nice sideline out. Have a good offseason, come back next year, do it again. This guy's all of a sudden an NFL quarterback prospect. Freshman players coming out of nowhere and playing well. No, it's pretty impressive. This isn't a sports show. That clip you just heard of Brian Kelly, you could hear that and apply it to anything in life about winning. And just the 3 points he made when you're getting up. It could be your job. Man, I just got a raise. I got a new title. I'm at the top of the mountain. You still got to stay hungry. You can't relax. You got to eliminate distractions. Everybody telling you congratulations and you're great. And you got to reinvest in attention to detail that got you there in the first place. It's like doubling down. I was never a Rush Limbaugh fan. I respected what he did for talk radio, the greatest ever, largest audience ever, all of that stuff. But one thing Rush Limbaugh said that I thought was pretty insightful about success, and he achieved a lot of success. He's like, it's like a football field. It's 100 yards long. It's 52 and a half yards wide. Every 10 yards, you get a first down. First down from the 20. You get to the 30. First down. Well, it isn't 70 yards now. The field just lengthened from 100 yards to 150. And now it's not 52 and a half yards wide. It's 70 yards wide. Now you just another play, you got 25 yards, another first down. Well, now the field's 300 yards long, and it's 100 yards wide, and so on and so on. You never, ever cross the goal line in life. You never, ever get to spike the ball. Never. Never. Maybe when you're 85 and you're sitting back retired and your family's there and your kids and your grandkids and everybody's celebrating your life and you're healthy and everything's going pretty good, maybe you can smile and be like, this is pretty damn close to crossing the goal line and spiking the ball. Until that time, I don't know. It's a grind. Even for you folks that are, quote, retired. Stay hungry, eliminate distractions, reinvest in attention to detail. I don't know how that ever stops. For the winners, it's innate. For the winners, they just know it. They stay hungry automatically. They're never satisfied. They eliminate distractions, like John Wooden said. When I lose, I don't let the critics and the folks put me in that spot. It's not as low as they want it to be. When I win, I'm not the reason, the greatness, and I'm this mountaintop I'm on. That isn't me either. No, just sort of temper yourself with the lows and the highs. Don't get too low with the lows and don't get too high with the highs. No, the winners know this innately. They know you got to keep reinvesting in attention to detail when the more success you have. It isn't get less hungry, buy into all the folks patting you on the back and saying you're great and believe it. And then I don't need to really worry about details anymore. I've arrived. Well, you'll fall off that precipice pretty quick doing that. I'm not sitting here and saying I'm the champion of talk radio or television, but I've been doing this 30 years because every day I'm passionate about it. Every day I like what I'm doing. Every day I'm like, it's work, and it's a grind, but I like it. I like it. It's my thing. It's all mine. I produce it. I direct it. There's no boss telling me, don't go there, don't do this. I avoid the big shots. I don't befriend these folks I'm talking about. So I have no problem ripping the people that deserve to be ripped and praising the people that deserve to be praised. And the beautiful thing about it, it's usually pretty righteous and legitimate. The people that are getting ripped deserve it, and the people getting praised deserve it. No, stay hungry, eliminate distractions, reinvest in attention to detail. Brian Kelly, what a breath of fresh air. A real plan, a way to get to the goals and objectives with that plan, and knows every step of the way to the championship, to the mountaintop, and what to avoid that's going to pop up to stop you from being successful. So grounded. It's just, it's beyond refreshing as an LSU football fan right now. And what's crazy, it's year one. Wait till this guy gets his recruits in. This guy was at Notre Dame over a decade. He's going to bring in Midwestern corn-fed offensive linemen. He's going to keep the borders around Louisiana shut down, dip into Texas, dip into Florida, I-10 corridor, player or two out of, Mississippi, Alabama, go to the Midwest, go to California, go up east, national program, national recruiter. This winning only helps. And that's exciting being an LSU fan again. The last 2 years were tough. Spoiled. 3 national titles, playing for a 4th. 20 years of greatness and then almost wrecked, but quickly brought back way ahead of schedule by Brian Kelly. It's nice. Yeah. GQ on the North Shore says this could be his worst team. It could be. That's what's crazy. It could be. Corey Johnson with you. Best quality, best price, best selection. Tastes like home. You know who? Rouse's Market. You heading home? You'll pass a Rouse's or two, maybe three on the way home from work, because there's a Rouse's in your neighborhood or right next door to your neighborhood. Locally owned and operated New Orleans grocery store. Over 60 years, over 60 Rouse's. Rouse's Markets. Hey, tomorrow, another edition of Hillier and Hennigan. If you miss DA Jason Williams or Eileen Carter from nolatoya.org, check them out on YouTube. Mañana. Thanks, Jason. Thanks for watching and listening. 93.9 FM New Orleans. Down, Blue Boy. Down, buddy.